Mom Code Podcast, Episode 5, Beef Debrief number 1 with Jessica and Anna. Hi, we're new here. Take one. Hi, everybody.
This thing is really cool.
I love it. And it's a whiteboard, too. You have me at whiteboard.
I know, it's great. I gotta wipe this off because I know we're gonna have more than one take.
We're going to have more than one take. For sure, Cease. Well, welcome, everybody, to our first ever Beef and Debrief episode. I'm Jessica, and the gal with the whiteboard clapper is Anna. And we're going to do a thing each month. Top of the month is we're going to have a Beef and Debrief. And that's kind of where we get to read our listeners. They email us at momcopodcast@gmail.com. Any advice they may be wanting, any opinions or hot takes they have, and we get to read them and talk about them and debrief them. So that's kind of people bring their beef and Anna and I debrief. So usually the structure, how it's going to go, we're going to read 4 beefs and then Anna and I will debrief after each one. I think I go first and I'm doing the mom beefs and you're doing the small biz beefs and we'll switch off each month. And then moving forward, we'll probably bring our own beefs because we always talk about our mommy wins and our daddy delights. But you know, momming in small business is hard. So we got some beefs too every now and then. But we just want to take a moment in the beginning this time to say thank you to all who email us because that's awesome. We had a selection to choose from. We actually had people write in and give us their beef so we could actually debrief. So if you're listening to this now and you're like, oh my gosh, this resonates with me, or I just want to hear somebody else's take other than my partner's or my mom's take, or just me throwing it at a wall, email us at momcopodcast@gmail.com, or feel free to slide into those DMs on our social platforms. We'll read those too, or help answer them.
Yep.
We're going to do full disclosure. We're not experts. We're just going to give you our opinion of our thoughts and what we think. Take it for what you will. It is not medical advice. It is not the word end all be all. It's just Anna and I's debriefing and hot takes.
Humble opinions.
Our own opinions, really. Anything else to add, Anna? You ready?
Yep.
Are you ready to read some beef?
Breed the beef.
Read the beef? Okay,
Yes.
mine's first. So this is a mom one. This is from Lindsay, and I'll read it. Let's hope I can read okay. Hi, ladies. FTM here. First time mom, for those who don't know in the digital world, and would like advice on how to respond to grandparents who really want to feed their baby sweets. We are exclusively breastfeeding, doing purees, and slowly adding simple, healthy solids. Definitely moving slow, but getting over the terror of choking. It feels like every time we are with grandparents, they are offering ice cream, marshmallows, jello, etc., and acting like we're the weird/mean parents for saying no. Baby is 8 months old, and we do plan on letting him have sweets in moderation later on after turning a year old, and when we are overall better with solids. I'm not good with confrontation, but really tired of the weekly battle. How do I shut down for good but not piss everyone off? I guess I'll debrief first because I'm currently in that stage of life because we're slowly introducing solids. And I'm also the parent that is also giving a little bit of ice cream in here and there. And just everything in moderation's kind of always been my thinking. But again, I have my parents, my sister, and my mother-in-law watch my daughter like every day during the weekday. So it's just like a trade-off. And my philosophy is when I go there, I bring foods and purees and stuff like that. I do Little Spoon, shout out to Little Spoon, helps us introduce solids. But if you're like saying, oh, I'm not comfortable with that, honestly, I would say because of constipation and tummy issues, like sweets are not really good for my baby right now is kind of how I would approach it. Like, I know you want to be the cool grandparents, you want to have fun, and I promise you will after a year. But just during this time when we're introducing new things and slowly introducing it, if you could please listen to my TED Talk, don't do sweets, please.
Yeah.
And I feel it after you ask a couple of times that it's not working, honestly, I wouldn't say like threaten them, like say we can't come over anymore, things like that, but just be like, it's really bothering me to a point where I don't feel comfortable having my kiddo over. If I can't trust my parents or my in-laws, to listen to me and respect my boundaries for my baby. So
Mhm.
that's how I would handle it. How would you go about it, Anna?
Uh, well, so, I mean, my baby's, like, what, she's 2.5 months old, so we're not even close to this. But I think that you touched on something very important at the end, and I think it's more about mutual respect and communication with the grandparents, and I think that
Yeah.
the situation can be for anything that maybe the parents or the in-laws are doing that maybe you don't
Mhm.
like, where you have a respectful adult conversation and you communicate. You don't talk down to each other. You don't pull the, well, I'm the parent and I know better on both sides because you've
Yep.
got your parent. Well, I'm the grandparent, so I know better than you. Well,
Yep.
no, 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 no. There has to be mutual respect and there has to be communication. And this goes back to even stuff that we've talked about before. Communication, mutual respect, and a mutual understanding. Talk to your parents in a respectful manner. Doesn't mean you can't
Mhm.
be firm. Just be like, "Hey, we're all team Lily here. We wanna make sure that
Mhm.
she is getting all the nutrients that she needs. We're working really hard to make sure that she's getting everything that she needs and that she's gonna be comfy too and not, like, have an
Yes.
upset tummy and all of this stuff because 'cause we're all team Lily here, we don't want this to happen." The biggest thing that I've seen and the biggest thing that I've heard is I think sometimes when people become parents, they start treating their parents like their children, and the
Yes.
respect for their parents goes away, and it's like, "Well, I'm a parent now, so I know everything and I know
Yeah.
better."
Yeah.
And that goes away, and it's like, sure, you're the parent, but they're the grandparents and they're your parents, and yeah, it's shifted. And
Mhm.
yeah, maybe you have a different way you communicate, but you don't talk down to them. Like, that's
Yeah.
the thing, you know? That's what
Yeah.
I would do is I would just have a respectful adult conversation with them and not make them feel bad about the choices that they've made.
No.
But I think the biggest thing, and I've even, like, had preemptive conversations with my mom about things like, "Hey, if there's something that happens that I don't like, I'm gonna talk to you about like an adult. I'm gonna be like, hey, we're all Team Lily here. We want what's
Yeah.
best for her. And right now, I don't know if giving her a lot of sweets is really a good idea just because we've noticed X, Y, and Z. And so, we'd really appreciate it if you respected what we said and maybe we all, were on the same page for her diet. If it
Yeah.
continued to happen, then I can see the conversation getting a little bit more like serious.
In fact, we also have to remember too, and I think you brought up a good point of obviously with the communication. Things have changed in the last 20 to 30 years since you were a baby.
And that's the other thing too, is that I think sometimes it's hard for grandparents to remember that they have to respect their children because now their children are parents. They're not just their children, they're now parents.
So I'm like,
Oh,
especially
yeah.
since you're first time mom, your grandparents might be first time grandparents too. They don't know what they're doing. They've never been grandparents before. And I'm kind of jealous of that because I'd love to skip it and be a grandparent because it sounds fun.
I know, right? It boils down to same things we've talked about before, lack of communication, maybe lack of respect, maybe growing pains. There's a shift in the patriarchy, matriarchy too to some degree when you
Oh,
become
yeah.
parents and become grandparents and it can be hard on everybody. Like I said, start with communication, start with friendly,
Hmm.
warm, gentle communication, or do the old compliment sandwich, where it's like, hey, you guys, I love you guys spending so much time with my son. This is great. He really enjoys you too. I want to make sure that we're all on board with nutrition though. Blah blah
Hmm.
blah.
I agree full heartedly. It's just, again, communication is key, especially
Mhm.
for first time anyone. Again, it's
Yeah.
like a new job. This
Yeah.
baby's a new job for
Yeah.
parents and grandparents. So we're all just navigating it. So, Lindsay, we hope that helped you out, girl. Thanks for writing in. Anna, you're up next.
Okay, so mine is actually from an anonymous source.
I know it's our first anonymous. I felt so special.
Hello, I love the podcast so far. I wanted to write in and ask you ladies how you price your items. I have items that vary a lot in price and size, so try and figure that out. Do you use signs at your booths and consignments, or how does that all work? Any advice is appreciated. Okay, so I think what she's trying to ask is basically like, what's the best approach for pricing? So I think it completely. I'll do the debrief first, if that's cool. That's how this.
You
Yeah,
go.
this
It's
has how
your
this goes.
it's
Okay,
yours.
cool.
Yeah.
Cool, cool.
We're
All right.
making it how it goes.
This is our first debrief, so just bear with us. So I think that it depends. on what you're doing. If you're doing consignment and you're at a retail store, you have to take into consideration the vibe of the place, the price range that the items that are surrounding yours in that store are, and even like the location, the clientele. You have to do some research. If you're going into a retail shop, you have to do your research and your homework on how you want things priced. I have a lot of things in different stores and I keep my prices pretty consistent because I generally know the town's like range. And there are some things too, when you sell wholesale to somebody too, it's at their discretion to charge what they want to charge too. And so there is that factor. But I think that doing your research about where your products are going to be for consignment and then for craft fairs even too, you got to remember your clientele. So my stuff is priced very affordably because my whole perspective and just kind of my approach is that I want to make earrings attainable for everybody. Lead nickel free earrings attainable for everybody and anybody. And sure, there are some that are more, it costs more to make than others. And sure, there are some that are less, and that kind of makes up profit margin wise. But you have to run the numbers, basically. You have to run the numbers. You have to figure out what's a good price range for you. And you have to remember to also pay yourself. There's obviously not a
Yes.
specific price that we can, like, provide to you, but you basically have to do your research and take into accountability. Start keeping track of your hours. Start keeping track of how much time you're pouring into making your product. Break down your materials cost. Do your research on figuring out where you can source affordable quality materials. That's the other thing too. What else? I'm trying to think of what else. I think
I
that's
think
pretty
you
much yeah, I mean, I don't know what else they just asked about. And at craft fairs, pricing is everything. It needs to be on everything. I tried using a color coding dot system. That didn't work. I tried not putting prices on and people basically like telling me what they wanted to pay. That didn't work. I bought a pricing gun off of Amazon. Best damn thing I ever bought. And so everything's very clear. It's all in the back. Looks nice right there. No questions. Clear pricing. Very clear pricing. And if you have like 1 or 2 signs on your booth, personally, I don't think that works. I think every individual piece has to be priced, but that's just me. What are your thoughts?
I agree with literally everything you said. I'll start backwards too. For pricing and stickers, I've tried a bunch of different things as well, and I recently just switched it. I used to do like laminated signs where I could change out the pricing, and
Yeah.
then I've noticed it's a little chaotic. So I'm like, I wanted a cleaner look. So then I switched to price sheets with my main staples on there. But again, like you said, price everything. I think this is the biggest advice I got when I was in retail. Your shopper is blind. Your shopper cannot read. Remember that.
It'll be right there and they'll be like, "How much is this mug?" And it's
Yes.
like you're staring at the sign that says $20.
Yes. So have it in 2 points, 2 to 3 touch points is kind of what I say. I would say
Oh,
have
I
a
like
sign, have it on your product, and then maybe verbalize it too. So like if you
that.
see them like picking up a piece, I'll be like, yo, homie, that mug's $20 in your hand right there. You're touching gold. You're touching
Mhm, mhm.
gold. You're welcome. But kind of have those 3 touch points. And I say the cleaner, the better because you can easily overwhelm your customer at your booth.
Yeah,
And if you're going to overwhelm them with your beautiful product, not numbers in their face because they don't
yeah,
want to read. They don't want to read. But you also want to make it so easy
yeah.
because if they don't know the price of things, they're gonna walk away. I've had pieces that I accidentally forgot to price, and they're just too scared to ask. And I'm like, oh, why do they keep picking up that bowl and walking away? And they look, I'm like, because there's no
There's
freaking
no
price.
price. That's why, like, I use the little pricing gun stickers. You use stickers too, that you can
I
just
use like the yard sale docs you can get at like any store, and I write
yeah,
them out. I'm not as
removable
fancy with the
price.
sticker gun, but you found yours on Amazon. I'm like, that does sound nice.
You didn't know I had one of these?
I figured you did because I've looked at your price stickers. I just didn't know where it lived and where you got it from.
Anyway.
And then moving on to how I price things too. Again, again, your
Mhm.
material costs is probably your biggest helper. I generally, when I was starting out, I was not caring about my time and effort. It really wasn't until I don't know if I've talked about the debacle of the book mugs I paint. That I was like, love them. Don't get me wrong. They're beautiful to look at. But this print takes me so much time. So I naturally go now off of my design that takes me the longest, and I base all my prices off of that because I'm like, "That's
I
time and effort." Now that's why they're priced that way is because I put the time, effort, the glaze, the firing, all the things to put the pieces on, the whole booth
and the
setup,
design.
the design, like, you need to factor in your creativity and your process to get that piece to that customer. That's how you price.
Yep. And we're talking, and like she said, everything, even travel, even
Yes.
the
What
paper you write an invoice on.
Whatever you have to tell your tax person, factor that in.
Yep,
Factor that in. And
100%.
then again, like you said too, Anna, research. I factored in the cost of the piece it is to purchase, ship it to myself, sit down and paint it, dip it, and fire it with shit ton of electricity, guys. Everybody's like, I could do this. I'm like, go ahead. Go ahead. You buy that
Go buy
kiln,
kilns,
mister.
we'll talk to
You
you.
buy. So again, do your research.
Yeah, the research is the biggest thing, honestly. Your
Mhm,
clientele too. And you have to kind of figure out your clientele and what you want to do and how you want to do it too. With my earrings, the thing is that I've got such a variety of style, which is why I've got such a variety of prices. But the
mhm.
thing is I wanted everybody to be able to
To find
buy.
something.
So to find something. So it's yeah, $8 to $14. Yeah, am I a lot more reasonable than a lot of places? For me, it's the exposure and the quantity.
And I
That's
think to match that too, you're really good at knowing when you do consignment, like your locations of like
mhm.
what specific style they're looking for in that
Yep,
earring, whether it's like kitschy, like TV shows and things
yep.
like that, or more Pacific Northwest style, or more florals and things like that. So again,
Or
doing
like
that
the
research and figuring out that customer that's coming to that store you're putting your stuff in, big
yeah.
deal. Cause like if you're going into say like a store that's like ran by Joanna Gaines, you're not gonna want, like, the kitschy TV show earrings, and you're gonna want more of the
Mhm.
florals and
Yep,
the boho.
and you've gotta do the research. Well, and it's like, I have my stuff over at Bardic Brewery, shout out to Bardic Brewery, and they have fantasy stuff, they have D&D dice, they have dragons, they have all kinds of that kind of stuff.
Mhm,
But the salon down the road, which is more like Pacific Northwest and like that florals vibes, that's what they have, and like kind of
mhm.
farm stuff. And so you just have to do the research. And yeah, it's
And
a lot of work, but once you do it though, you can always fine tune it. It's the initial research and the initial idea of what you're worth, and then you can fine tune it.
you were literally reading my brain because I was just gonna say that. I'm like, don't be afraid to price adjust at
Yes,
all. And some
absolutely.
especially in the world of consignment versus, like, craft shows and things like that, like, you're
Mhm.
okay to mark it up a little bit when you go to certain stores because you have to
Yeah.
factor in what they're gonna charge and, like, the what is it? The percentage they take or things like that.
They'll take some because I'm in several places. So some places, they will, charge a higher rent and a lower commission rate, and some places will charge a lower rent and a higher commission rate. Some places won't charge rent at all, and they'll just do a commission-based thing too. So you have to factor that in. Like, I have one place that doesn't have any rent whatsoever, but they take 30%. But I like that because they have to work for it because if they're not selling my products and they're not making money, if I'm not making money, they're not making
They're not
money.
making money.
So, I like that, right?
I
Also
mean, that's
the
kind of like the ideal
right,
scenario. Not all
right?
places can do that, but it's kind of
Well, the
ideal.
ideal is that they don't charge you and take anything, right?
You just get to park your stuff there and say, "Bye-bye. I make
Yeah,
money."
but yeah, I think it's researching your clientele. But I do agree with
Yes.
you 100% that once you get an idea though of where your baseline is for your prices, doing those
Mhm.
small adjustments come pretty natural.
Yes, they do. And that's the thing too, is like you'll know based off of like for me, like the size of the piece, I know how much time and effort it's gonna take me. I can kind of price adjust. And I also think kind of creating a price range, like I would look at your smallest piece versus your biggest piece, or like one that has like the most effort versus the most minimal effort. Well, thank you, Anonymous. I hope that answered like your questions. Thank you for writing in, you mysterious person you are.
I love it. All right, Jess, one more mommy one, yeah?
My last mommy one. This one is from Sienna, and it goes, "Hi, I am Sienna. I am a first-time mom, and I feel like I'm putting so much pressure on myself to do so much with my baby in terms of tummy time. Oh, been there. Working on developing skills, etc. If we have a wake window where I didn't do lots of play or tummy time, I feel so guilty. I've been nitpicking my husband so much because I ask him to take
Mhm.
over with the baby, and if he doesn't do things the way I do, then I get annoyed and start trying to correct him. And then he says, make him feel like a bad dad. But I feel like I see so much online that at 3 months, they should be getting a total of 45 minutes of tummy time a day. And I feel like we barely get 10 minutes in a session. So it definitely doesn't add up to 45 minutes. Maybe more like 25. He's nowhere near showing the signs of rolling, etc. So then I get worried I am not working on his skills enough. He is 14 weeks old currently. I know I'm probably just overthinking. Just wondering if you ladies have dealt with this. I'm just worried I'm behind. Girl, Sienna, don't we all feel like we're behind? I swear, blink and I'm behind.
Like, we didn't do tummy time for, like, 2 weeks or something crazy like that, which is terrible, but yeah, no. You go ahead and debrief.
The thing
Yeah,
is,
same.
don't overthink it, Sienna. Your baby's gonna do it. Your baby's gonna thrive. I think the tummy time that my doctor told me is just their skull development.
Yeah.
So if you're just literally laying with your baby burping, that constitutes as tummy time. That's the biggest thing my doctor told me is like that counts.
Really?
Anytime, yeah, burping counts as tummy times
Oh,
1010%.
we're
And
great.
they say, and then I've read most of their neck development comes from burping them.
Yeah, I
So
can see that.
but I've been in that whole Sienna of like, is it Sienna? Yeah, Sienna, where I felt behind with the tummy time land. And it was stressful. Again, like you said, there's literally so much time and no time all in one time because your baby has such short wake windows, especially
Yeah.
during the first like 3 to 4 months. It's just like you're lucky if you can even go to the bathroom during their wake window. Again, just any chance you can try it, but don't force it. As long as their skills developing normal, you go into your checkups and like your doctor's saying your baby's perfect, your baby's fine. You are doing everything right. I
Mhm.
feel we put so much pressure on tummy time. Again, we like to think of
Really do.
go back in time where people on the Oregon Trail with their babies worried about
Yeah.
tummy time. No, they were worried about dysentery and
They're
keeping
worried
the
about
baby
not
alive.
dying.
Yeah. So the fact that we are privileged enough to worry about tummy time, you are doing great, Sienna. Like I believe in you, and I feel like you're underestimating yourself of how much time you're actually doing tummy time. You
Yeah.
probably are doing a perfect amount of time. That 25 minutes is gold in my book. So I'm like, isn't it weird that the internet says 45 minutes? Like not like roughly like an hour, not 30, 45. So
That's a
it's the
weird
internet's
interval.
problem, not
Yeah.
your problem, Sienna.
I feel like well, because 'cause I'm, like, in this spot too, because she's 9.5 weeks old, and, like, it was just the other day, I realized that we weren't done tummy time in forever. I mean, I burp her on my shoulder all the time. She sleeps on my shoulder
That
all the
counts.
This kid was lifting her head, though, at, like, day 3, so
Yeah.
and she's going to roll over literally, like, anytime, but we got her little, like, piano gym thing out, and
Mhm, mhm.
she's on that, and she was loving that. So we've been doing tummy time the last couple of days. We're not doing it anywhere near 45, not
45.
even 25 minutes. I'm sorry, but the why okay, this is a whole episode on its own that we're gonna talk about later on down
Yeah,
the road,
Sienna, thank you for bringing this
but
up.
the the pressure that social media and the internet puts on new moms is disgusting.
Bananas. As somebody who works in social media for
Fucking
a
disgusting.
living, nasty. People are capitalizing on it. People are preying on first-time moms especially
When
to
you're
live in this bubble of
vulnerable
fear.
and you're weak and you're tired and you're sleep deprived, it's
Mhm.
terrible. No, and that's the thing is it's like if you're like you said, and I agree with you completely, you're going to the doctor's saying, "Hey, you guys are doing a great job. Your baby's perfect. There's good development." I think that the internet and other moms can be so cruel and put so much pressure on people. And it's like, why are we bending over backwards and torturing ourselves and feeling guilty for people that we don't fucking know and people that we'll never fucking meet? And people that will never actually judge us in person. And you know
Oh,
what? If
yeah.
you dig into them, they probably have a lot of shit that they fucked up on too.
Amen, sister. Amen. And
That's my
Sienna,
rant.
you're doing great.
You're doing just fine, and your baby's doing just fine.
Milestones, again, I think that's why they call them milestones because mile is a big distance. And everybody's milestone is a little bit different in timing. Just because your baby's not rolling over yet, Sienna, doesn't mean he's
Mhm.
behind. He's just in his own window. Every person's different. Every baby is different. It's a bigger distance. and
Yep.
your baby will definitely get there. If your baby is drinking, eating, doing all the right things, pooping, peeing, sleeping, your baby's gonna roll and you're gonna wish, "Oh, wow, you're starting to move. I wish you could stay not rolling over and cuddle you a little bit longer, because that's what I wish right now as my baby's starting to crawl." So, Sienna,
She's like, "No."
don't overthink it. You got this, girl, and I believe in you, and I bet your baby's super cute.
The other thing though too is it's kind of like I don't understand why we as a society it's always like everybody's different. Everybody does everything at their own pace.
But let me
Everybody's
measure you.
great. But let me fuck with you when you have a kid and tell you how your kid's not normal. But it's okay that
Mhm.
everybody's different as adults and does everything at their own pace.
Again, don't preach to the choir if you can't sing the chorus has always been my motto.
I love it. I love it. So, yes, I agree with Jess. You're doing a great job. Don't overthink
Yeah.
it. Your baby is doing what they need to do for them at their
Mhm,
pace. And you know
mhm.
what? You're a good mom for recognizing that and for letting your baby do what they need to do.
And also, give your husband a hug, because he's
Yeah,
also trying to, and he's probably just trying his darnest to keep you happy
they always
and the
do.
baby happy. So give
Yep.
him a hug if you can.
Tell him he's a good dad.
Sometimes you just need to hug it out, even
Yeah,
when you're angry.
good. Yep.
Are we on to our last beef?
We're on our last beef. This is great.
I love a
Okay.
beef debrief.
This is good stuff. Okay, so it's another business beef debrief, and we have Stephanie. She says, "Hi there. I have a general question about item types. I make custom handbags that I sell in the 40 to $120 range. Craft shows even recommended. I'm getting ready to build out my Etsy and online shop, but I'd also like to do some local vending. But I'm not sure if I could go into consignment or shows. I used to sell quilted table runners, but have moved on to handbags, wallets, and other various home decor. Just seeing what might be best in today's economy." So,
Fuck if I know in today's economy.
once again, it completely depends on your clientele, what area you live in, and
Mhm,
if you think they would be receptive. So I know actually two very lovely people that make leather handbags and make leather goods, and their price ranges are probably in the same area. They do craft fairs and they do pretty well. You need to research to see if the craft fair
mhm,
portion is part of it. Attend these shows. Take notes. See, the other thing too is if there isn't a lot of people that have what you are selling, people are
be
going to be
there.
more inclined to pay more because you have a rarer item too. It's not like, oh, I can just go to the other handbag vendor. No.
Mhm,
So it really depends. I don't think that the price range is outrageous, but I don't have enough details. I don't know how much time you put into it. I don't know what
mhm,
materials you're using. I don't know what designs you're doing or how much time that takes up, that kind of thing. So, as far as Etsy is concerned, that's going to be a whole episode too. I think it's worth a shot, and set up guidelines even. Say X amount of months, or I'm going to do X amount of shows just to see how it goes. That's a good way too. Test the waters. You don't know until
mhm.
you try, right? That's what they always say. You don't know until you try. And I think that this is no exception to that rule. So that's just and as far as seeing what's best in today's economy, it's a crapshoot.
I agree with everything you say too. So again, just do your research, see
Mhm.
where like your space could live in the market
Mhm.
versus like, so have you Googled or your like hand-based styles that you've like similar to you? Have you looked on Etsy similar to you? How's it popping up on the feed? Have you seen it on social? Have you seen a need for that? Have you gone to a cafe or a market to see if there are even bags? If there are bags, are they the style I make? Or are they in the price range I would do? I feel because you said they're what, leather, right? Or
Just
did
says
we not
custom
specify?
handbags, so we don't know materials.
Custom is a custom can be its own episode too, because
Yeah.
everybody's
Ooh.
customs it everybody has a different word for custom or, like,
And
idea for
everybody has
custom.
like a different definition of custom too. Your customer
I
might be
agree.
your definition of custom.
Don't they? But, yeah, I would again, just do your research, shop around, and make that space for your product. For me, my biggest thing is I wanted to get into a certain market with my pottery. So I'm like, I have this style in my mind and I feel like it'd fit at this perfect show. Mine's Farm Chicks. Farm Chicks was like my creme de la creme. I want to be in there. How can I make my designs and my vibe fit into that space? and go from there. And then
Right.
kind of base all my shows off of that too. Again, I'm not like at every styled like farm trick show. I'm at like high school craft fairs and things like that. But I
Mhm.
found where my niche lives and I found out where my customers by just trying. Because you really,
Cast a
again,
wide
don't,
net.
yeah,
You have to
cast a
cast
wide
a
net.
wide net and then refine it.
Yes, and I think that's where Anna and I were very similar because during I think we had the same year where we were trying every show under the sun to
Oh my
see what
gosh.
works and what doesn't work. I'm thankful we did that before children, FYI, because if I do
Samesies.
right now,
We did it the
cry.
year before we had our babies or we got pregnant with babies, and we were just like it was, like, every weekend, and that's when we really started to get to know each other too because it was, like, every weekend we're at the same shows.
And I think you really don't know until you try different varieties of shows. And some of my most unexpected ones are my best ones. You don't know until you try. And then same with Etsy, like, you don't know until you put yourself out there if it's gonna go well. For me, it did not, and then I
Yeah.
built my website, and then I brought the people to me through social, so that could be another route there for you too. Anna does Facebook Lives, and that's another way to go about it as well.
Mhm.
So again, like Anna said, it does take
Takes
time.
time.
So cast a wide net
Yep.
and allow for patience. I feel like especially in today's society, because of social media, people expect to start a small business and have instant gratification, instant
Yeah.
viral fame, instant sellout. And I can
Nope.
guarantee you, everybody that has been selling out their products or a small business that is thriving, they'll tell you they had years where they had to put in the grind work, make sacrifices to get where they are. You can't have instant gratification. It does not happen overnight. Stephanie, thank you for a great question. And I
Yeah.
hope you do really well and your bags are phenomenal. I'd love to see them sometimes. Feel free to email us because I'd love to see your custom eggs.
Love it. Love it.
And
Oh,
that
we're
was our
done with our
first.
first beef and debrief.
Are we done
Oh my
debriefing?
god. I
I
love
feel
it.
so accomplished in
That
life.
was good. Really good.
I know. It's nice to hear from other people. Like, it's nice
Me
people
too.
watch. It's not just you and me. I'm okay when it's just you and me. It makes me feel more comfortable. Because if you told me,
Yeah.
like, that many people are listening to us and asking us questions, I'd be like, heartburn city.
It's
You told
already
me
been a month. Fuck.
I get to sit in my basement, drink wine, talk to my bestie, and hear about other people's life struggles and know that I'm not alone. This is great.
I know. This is the best fucking thing we ever did other than our daughters.
Yeah, I full-heartedly agree. Sorry, marrying my husband. You come third now.
I know, I was just gonna say maybe and then I was like and then marrying our husbands.
I do love him, so it's fine.
Yeah, samesies. Mine, not your I mean, I do love yours, but not like that.
In the same way, yeah, yeah, yeah. That's more brotherly.
Yes, very much so. In fact, I even think, like, David and I could look like we could be siblings.
Amen.
Like
Thank you all for listening. Again, we appreciate those who wrote in. That's like fantabulous and fantastic and all this wonderful, marvelous things you can ask for. Again, if you want to be a part of our beef debrief, we highly encourage it.
highly
Just email
encourage
us.
or
Oh, we're
DM
starting
us.
yeah, we're starting to really like it now
Yeah.
too. Like, I feel like I'm friends with everybody we just read. So email us at momcopodcasts@gmail.com. Feel free to DM us on Instagram or Facebook. We're on there as well. Actually,
Yep.
I'm on Instagram all the time now because I have no life. It's fine. And then you can visit our website, momcopodcast.com.
Yep.
Go on our socials, Facebook and Instagram, just Momco Podcast. And where else can they find us, Anna? Am I forgetting? Is that
YouTube.
all the place? Oh, yeah, you can find us on
YouTube.
YouTube, Spotify,
Yeah,
Apple.
Spotify and Apple Music, yeah. Anywhere you like to watch or listen to your podcasts, you can find us.
Drop us a review because reviews are how we get seen
Reviews,
in that
comments.
algorithm world we live
Yep.
in. So
Yep.
please leave reviews, especially on where you listen and watch. So
Yep.
thank you all for your time. We hope you love the beef and debrief. Let us know what you guys think.
Thank you.
And now clapper. Done. When are
Instant.